Welcome to the Capital City Creative Podcast. Today's guest is a real estate broker, hair salon owner, and one of my favorite music artists, Judson Wright.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm 40 minutes late. I feel like an idiot. So I'm coming in insecure and ready to talk.
Right. Well,
There might be some interesting things that come out of my mouth right now.
Well, you're definitely here, so that's all that matters. But yeah, just wanted to get your take on what it is just being a creative in Mississippi. You went to Madison Central?
Mm-hmm. I went to Madison Central High School in Madison, Mississippi, and then I went to USM, University of Southern Mississippi, for college. In college, I studied jazz studies, jazz saxophone, basically, in the music department there, and studying under Larry Piniella, who's one of the greatest saxophone players, easily one of the greatest saxophone players in Mississippi.
Okay.
I would say one of the great saxophone players of in our country right now.
Good thing Ezra's not in here right now.
Listen, Ezra has a respect for Larry Piniella. Ezra knows all about Larry.
Yeah.
But Mr. Piniella is amazing. Absolutely an excellent peer to Ezra Brown, no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Who now? Ezra has his line of saxophones. Didn't know that.
That's right. He has a line of saxophones. He has a line of coffee shops.
Random. Yeah. So let's get to you. Just got 3 simple questions for you. And if you're listening, maybe the listener is someone who likes creativity, someone who's a creative themselves, or someone who just is looking for a creative. Mm-hmm. And that's what this space is. So that's crazy. I can't think of the question. I just had it.
It's all good.
Yeah.
You had something. It was something about, like, how do I create? Is it how do I create?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
So the question is, how do you create?
It's grown in the application of what that means. Because how do I create as a musician? It's through inspiration. So in a sense, I create through inspiration.
Yeah.
I'm an emotional person. I feel a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think before I pursue something, I have to fall in love with it. Whether that's like a song idea or a business venture, a concept, there has to be something at the core of it that moves my spirit, like moves something deep inside of me. The only way as I've grown, I've kind of been able to like point to what those things are in a special way that I haven't been able to do. Like when I was younger, I just kind of went off my feelings.
Right.
Now I'm getting enough of a mindfulness about who I am and why I feel those things to where I can even like hone in deeper into like why do I want to say this phrase, or why do I want this melody to sound like this with these lyrics, or why do I want to own a hair salon? And so how do I create? I create through falling in love with an idea.
Yeah.
And so, that looks in like a multitude of different things. But when once I fall in love with something, I chase it. And normally it doesn't turn out the exact way that I envisioned it. And so the love for what the core of that idea is what drives me through, whether, it's making a song or running a business or whatever it is. That's what drives me to the finish line of how can I, for instance, with my hair salon, I came in saying I want to make a place to bring people together where their beauty can be affirmed through people that are excellent at their craft and amazing artists.
Love that.
And that's what I wanted to pursue. So like the details of that could be multiple in the way that I get there. And I've been lucky to get as far as I have and very fortunate with the people that I've got. I'm very proud of the people there and the excellent work they're doing. But at the core of that, is in that case, I'd kind of determined it to be beauty, creativity, connection. Those are like the 3 values. And so I fell in love with, as I was thinking about the salon, what do I love about it? I would determine that, and then I would kind of grow it from there. And that's where the creativity is about inspiration, but then eventually, it's about execution. How do you execute the stirring in your soul? And the only way you do that in a good way is in a way that is accurate to what's going on inside of you is to practice it outwardly.
Right.
And so there's a craft element to that too. So with music, with I'd say real estate, when it comes to creativity, that the creativity comes in negotiation. It comes in the management and the facilitation of relationship to acquire the best possible outcome for my client. And so, that's a completely different, like there's creativity involved with that.
Right, sure.
But in a completely different realm than it would be like if I just wrote a song, I'm writing a song in my studio, or if I'm, crafting a hair salon from the ground up.
Yeah. I love that. There was like two huge points I just wanted to touch real quick on. The first is, you said before, you create out of inspiration. So it inspires you and it gets in you first, and then it is expressed outwardly. And I can attest to that, just being, a huge fan of your work, your music, and kind of hearing some backstory and seeing like the effort you put into that, and then hearing it in the tracks and hearing it in the music. And it's awesome to see. And so it's like, it not only benefits you to take that time to get it in you or be inspired by it, but it benefits the listener or the person who is partaking of your creativity. So I love that. And then the execution part that you were talking about, it's like, okay, if I limit creativity to just kind of being an artist or certain forms, then I can miss out on creativity in business or creativity in other facets. What would you say helps you execute? What would you say helps you get from, I got this idea, or I am inspired, but I don't know if I should move on it? What would you say, what's one thing that would help move it from creativity to execution?
It's a great question. It's a lot of times it can get stuck. It's kind of, a lot of people call it writer's block.
Right.
Just a passion to see what's inside of me be created and put into our reality.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not real when it's inside of me, but you can't share. It's harder to share a vision. It's harder to share an idea. It's harder to share a song when you don't have the song to play for somebody, when you don't have the idea to demonstrate. And so that demonstration, a desire, and to a certain extent, it's a desire to be heard. And through my personal journey, I've had to grow in confidence that the things that I do are of value and that should be witnessed in demonstration. So I think that a desire to see what I've created and see that it's good in my eyes is really cool. It's very self-centered in that sense, but I don't want to say that in a negative sense. It's just, as I'm saying it out loud, it sounds very about oneself, but also, I guess, the way that I see creativity is not that it is something that I'm creating out from inside of myself, but that there's something going on outside of me that has resonated and has touched something inside of me that then I magnify through creation.
Yeah.
So it's not, don't mean to be convoluted about that. It's just a matter of it's about when I see something, when I perceive something inside of myself, and wanting that expression to be manifest into a place where other people can experience it as well. And through that, people understand me better. Through that, they see the world maybe in a different place, in a different way. And it's a passion for people to see what's going on inside of me and what I see. Yeah. That's, in a sense, that's what creativity is. It's recreating something or recreating something inside of yourself so that other people could see things the way you do. So I think I would say that's a driver. And then also, I am ambitious. Yeah. I think I've struggled to accept this, but I do genuinely think that what I see and the way that my voice matters. Yeah. And the more that I recognize that, I think the greater my work is. I think the greater my vision becomes, and the more powerful the things that I create become. And that's the desire to not put that on a shelf. Yeah. and not use it, because I think it's something that's been given to me And so I don't, if it's a gift, I don't want to not use it. So an intense desire to not bury the things that I've been given is also something that drives me to create.
That's good. That's so good. As you were saying that, I was just thinking about, you are giving something, and it didn't sound selfish at all, but when you are taking the time to execute, you're not harboring something that was placed in you. And if you were to harbor it, you'd be robbing us. You'd be robbing the people, your audience, your field, so to speak, of what has been placed in you, and something that could benefit or is for them, that could change them, that could move them, that could inspire them. And so I think it's like you were saying, it's a gift, and how you show the greatest appreciation for a gift is you use it, you share it, you put it to work. I love that. Definitely want to be respectful of your time.
I'm here as long as you want me here.
With what you're doing now, I kind of seen and frequent the salon,
Yes.
But
shout out to Deja.
Right. Shout out Deja. And also shout out Maddie. She'll be upset if you don't shout her out.
No, look. Absolutely shout out to Maddie. I was just referring to the fact that you go there.
Yes.
You go there to see Deja.
Yes,
and she
Deja
does an
does a
amazing
great
job
job
with your hair. Yeah.
Yes, she's
Everybody
awesome.
there.
You should check her out.
Shelby, Miracle.
Yeah.
When is this debuting? At this point, Miracle will be announced. But
Yes.
yeah, we got Miracle.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maddie, Deja, Miracle,
Salon
Shelby.
at Fondren.
The Salon at Fondren.
Great place. Check it out.
It's wonderful.
So something I'm excited about is, like, what are you creating now? I know we talked about in the business sense and things like that, but specifically, I'm kind of anxious to hear about the music sense, because I've seen some things on, Instagram, a little bit of teasing. So what you got?
So no doubt, like, obviously I've got tons of plans for my real estate business and for the salon. And those are, especially right now, the salon has taken up a lot of my focus, just because it's such a big undertaking for me.
Sure.
And I want to make sure it's done excellently. And so that's taken up a lot of focus. That being said, yeah, I mean, musically, I'm trying to get to a place where when I release a song or when I release a project, that it's not just about the music, because music's not just about the music. You're usually, I mean, there are some people that I would say, like, you listen to Beethoven or you listen to Bach or Brahms, these amazing instrumental, musicians or orchestras, and they'll bring in choirs too, no doubt. But I mean, honestly, what I'm saying even for them doesn't fully apply, but just go with me a little bit. Generally, music, other than in those situations, they're usually talking about something.
Yeah.
The music is about something. And in that reality, frankly, as I say this, I'm also realizing that a lot of even the classical musicians that wrote instrumental music were writing for requiems, or they were writing for church organizations or for parties. So there's always a purpose for that music to be written. And I've gotten into a space where I thought releasing music on its own and then doing some shows, like, that's what it's about. And to a certain extent, that is what it's about, because without the music, there's nothing else. But there's also a greater story that's being told through the music. And I remember I was going to New York in like 2018 when I was releasing my first round of singles, and I got some attention from a guy that was about to jump in with RCA, and we sat down. And he started talking to me, and we were talking, and he says, well, what's your story? Like, what's the story you want to tell as an artist? And I didn't know what to tell him.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Like, what do you mean? And a part of me was like, can't you just see it in the music? Like, could you tell me? And I think what he was getting at was, like, even if I could tell you, even if I had an idea, he wasn't fully clear on what my story, what the story I wanted to tell. But regardless of that, I needed to know what my story is and what I'm actually doing when I'm writing music. And to relate back to what we were talking about earlier, my own awareness is what's very important to being able to do the right, to make good art and to create good things. So that means, one, I've got to be doing more. I've got to be creating more different ways for people to consume what I'm doing, and like my talents and my skills and my craft. And so that means working on content. That means when I do release something, I want for there to be a holistic branding moment for it. If I wanted to, for instance, Palm Trees, one of the songs that's really popular of mine. I don't have a music video for that. I don't have any idea of what I would even want to do as an image wise for that. So what's the deal? And I think it's important. We need that. So, and I need to be able to do that so that I can best market what I'm doing.
Right.
So,
play a snippet of Palm Trees that'll be the intro.
Yes, definitely do that.
Yes, definitely check out his music. It's awesome. So I guess I always love being able to help people take a step forward after hearing this wisdom that you share with us, your experiences and things like that. What would you say to the person who may be kind of in that stuck spot of that I got this creative idea, and to get them just one step closer to execution? What would you say?
It's an interesting question. I'm honestly, there are a lot of people. This is where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
this could change in a year or two. I'm of the opinion that the way that people are talking about how to be successful in these industries and being an actor, being a musician, being an entrepreneur, all that stuff, I'm of the opinion that if you go all in and you've got nothing left for anything else, you are doomed to be at the mercy of whoever is going to be more powerful than you that's in the way of your dreams. And we think people, even some of the greatest actors of all time, they made it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody can touch them. To a certain extent, that's true, because once you've developed a certain amount of fandom, people are going to put you in movies no matter what. But at the end of the day, there's still somebody that's going to make a decision on whether you're going to be on that movie or not, even as for some of the greatest actors in the world.
Right.
And those, producers, for instance, there's a reason that Harvey Weinstein was so powerful yet so troubled and such a bad guy. He was not touchable because he was so powerful. And so I would say, don't ever put yourself in a position to where the world or somebody else, whatever, can leverage everything that you've dreamed of against you to compromise yourself. And that requires a lot of times creating a stable environment financially, personally, all that stuff, where you can get up every morning, healthily live your life, and then move forward. And in that place, your mind becomes clear enough to be able to pursue what's greater than you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be completely open to compromise. Not because someone comes in ready to compromise, but because when you go all in, there will always be people that can use that against you to make you do what they want you to do,
right,
rather than what you can do. So I would say maintaining autonomy, and sometimes there's a price that's bought with that, which just means that sometimes you don't go as fast as you want to. In fact,
right,
most of the time you don't go as fast as you want to. But I'm kind of living proof of that right now, that there is goodness and there's blessing on the side of not sprinting and begging everybody that is in your way to let you pass at any cost to you.
Yeah.
Just because you've put all of your eggs in this idea basket or that idea basket. Again, it takes a lot. It's a lot slower. But the things that you do, if you're 22 and you're I could go and I could go compromise on the things that I love or my values, or I could change the way I make music to where the way I want to do it instead of the way I do it, just the way someone else does it, so that I can get to the next step. At some point you lose yourself and you become a skilled whatever you're doing, but you never really get that idea dies in the meantime.
Yeah.
And so the same way that when I don't have children, but I would imagine it's something similar. If you want to raise a child, you can have a child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want kids. Sure, you can go have a kid, but if you want that child to be in the best possible situation, to be raised healthily, to be raised in a special place, that requires commitment, no doubt, to the
Right.
child or the idea in this case, but it also requires stability day in and day out so that that idea or that child metaphorically can be nurtured in a way to where, you know, that they're strong and that it lasts in the long term. So you see so many artists, so many people burn out or don't ever quite get there. And, you know, some reason it's for a good reason. They maybe didn't have the skills necessary or whatever it is, but just don't ever let your dream run your life, you know, which sucks. And that's very counterintuitive to like but if you let your dream run your life, you end up losing yourself because the dream is actually just a fantasy that's serving something that's broken inside of you a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's heavy, but like that's my story.
Yeah.
Is that my dream of being the next Kanye West, a lot of that was served by the fact that I felt unheard and I feel like, well, everyone listens to Kanye.
Yeah.
Well, like there are ways that me in my position right now, I can go out and find ways in my life, as modest as it is, to serve the needs that fantasy was giving me as I'm fantasizing about it.
Yeah.
How can I learn how to be heard in my life? And like, you know, J. Cole talks about in Love Yours, you know, there's no such thing as the life that's better than yours. You have everything you need. Everybody has everything they need to do what they want to do. But sometimes, like I said, if that creativity, if that idea is serving something greater than just the idea itself, if it's serving a need that you have inside of yourself, it will cannibalize you.
Yeah. So if you're not led by your dreams, what are you led by?
You're led by your values. You're led by what you care about. And your dreams inform that. But if you're not careful, your dreams are the fantasy, you know, or your fantasies about what you wish your life could be. They're serving something that you feel that you lack, or that's something that's broken inside of you. Generally, at least this is my experience. Yeah. And so, you have to listen to that. What's going on inside of yourself. And you've also got to make some decisions about like, who am I? What do I stand for? You know, who do I want to be?
Yeah.
And in that place, I think that's where true autonomy and true confidence can come when an amazing idea comes and you want to create it. And it's like, you can't take anything away from me. I've got a song right now that I think, I'm just being honest with you, it's a Christian song. I don't want to release it as me because I'm not a Christian music artist. Mm-hmm. At this point in my life, I'm a music artist as a Christian. I think the song could be a number one hit.
Yeah.
And like, so I've had some people tell me, it's like, I really couldn't see it like in this situation. And I'm just like, I mean, I'm internally like, I think it can, and I'm going to keep pushing for it. But if I needed their approval, if I needed them to also tell me, because I didn't know for myself, I would say, oh, and then I would, you know, get in a shell and maybe I would never do anything with it. So, it's got to come from you. You've got to figure out who you are. Yeah. And that's where security comes. Yeah. And as you're starting something that's very hard, which is bringing something from not existing to existing, that requires so much confidence inside yourself, that requires so much bravery to be like, I'm bringing this thing out of nothing into something, and people are going to criticize it. People are going to say it's not enough. And if I don't know that I am enough, then my dreams are going to run my life, and I'm going to feel like I'm not enough, and it's going to crush me. The weight of my dreams, the weight of the things I want to do are going to crush me because of other people's opinion, because I'm not confident in myself to be able to lead out through my dreams and the things I create. So good.
You just said that down now, man. That's so good. No, I love that. Not leading from a place, not being led by your dreams, but by your values, because from that place, that's where everything else is kind of established.
Yep.
Yeah, that is left me speechless, man. That's such great wisdom. Yeah, no show notes yet, but
you said no show notes yet. Is that what you said?
No show notes yet, but hopefully
you write the show notes down.
Right.
I appreciate it.
But they're coming. So, man, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Would love to have you back for sure.
That'd be a pleasure.
Yeah, would love to also catch that song too. Love to hear that song.
Yeah. I'll play it for you after this. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we won't play it here, but we'll play it after.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much. Where can they find you?
So that's a good question. If you want to find my music, you can go to I Am Judson Wright. So IAMJUDSONWRIGHT on Instagram.
Because he is.
Yeah, I am Judson Wright.
Right.
It's very clear. So I got that. If you want to check out the salon at Fondren, you want to see what we're doing. If you want to come in for a cut or a color or a silk press or whatever, a twist, a lock,
Just to talk.
You can go to the Salon at Fondren. That's the Salon at Fondren.com. It's not like an @ sign. It's a little AT.
Yeah.
AT Fondren. We're located right next to Soleil, which is actually, we're not in the downtown Soleil, which is where we're recording this, but in the Fondren location of Soleil, right next door to them. You can find me there, and then for real estate stuff, you can just DM me on wherever you find me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it.
It's a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you so much. That's fun, bro.
Man, I love talking about this stuff.
Pull stuff out of you.
Instead of 1 in a million, I think you 1 in a billion, yeah.